Hello, and welcome to episode number 337 of the TEW Challenge Run. This is going to be Raw for week 3 of February 2023. And yeah, we have a couple of matches set for the show, I believe. We have a big battle royal to determine who's going to be the final member of the Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks' time. It will be, Nova Nebula, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Julia and Florence in that match, but the winner of tonight's 20-man Battle Royal main event will join her. We also have 3 matches to determine a fatal 4-way match for the Intercontinental Championship at that Elimination Chamber special. It will be Mustafa Ali taking on John Morrison, Chad Gable taking on Sheamus, and Zergis taking on Montez Ford. And the segment that will kick us off, the return to WWE of the Maverick, Logan Paul. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Logan opens up the show. He's got his prime bottle and all sorts, and he's going, "How we doing here, guys? How we doing here tonight?" Now, for those of you who may have missed the Royal Rumble, I took part in my very first Royal Rumble, and I did all right. I came in late, number 28. I'll put the whooping on a couple of people. And I don't know if he's ever shut up about it since, but you might know I eliminated Dolph Ziggler from that match. Now, Ziggler is the sort of guy that he's in WWE. He's been fighting for an opportunity that I've been handed. I'm not going to be completely oblivious to the fact that I've been handed spots because of who I am. But I wasn't handed the spots in my life. I earned to become everything I am, to earn the right to be handed those spots. And it's not my fault that Ziggler spent 15 years in WWE and he's got a lot to show for it, but not a WrestleMania main event, not a WWE Championship, none of that. Because only one man in this ring is going to be the WWE Champion. And it's not going to be Dolph Ziggler. It's going to be me that outcomes Ziggler with all the male members of the grand jury. Because the main event is going to have Scarlett and Sonya in, and Julia's going to be watching it. And yeah. So just the men come out. And Ziggler's like, "Hello there, Logan. Nice of you to finally show up to this business that you claim so much, that you love. Every time you step in this ring, you go, oh my god, I love it. I was born for this. Were you? Huh? Because last time I checked, you haven't been here for the past 3 weeks. I have. I've been here pretty much every week for the last 16 goddamn years. You can't come in here and say you love to do this when you take breaks so frequently because you've got other passion projects. This is my passion project. And yes, it took me about 15 years to get my first WrestleMania singles match. And yes, I haven't had another one since. And yes, that took place in front of an empty performance center. But that right there should show you what this means to me. Okay? Do you think Logan Paul would wrestle in the empty WWE Performance Center during COVID? Do you think Logan Paul would even think about putting on a cheerleading outfit and heading down to developmental because he was told he wasn't good enough? Do you think Logan Paul would have spent all those years fighting and grinding it out on superstars and a main event? No. Logan Paul doesn't love this. He loves the fame that he gets from in this. And don't worry, kid. I see a lot of myself in you because I see a bit of the show off in you. You like the lights, the glam, and the glitz. And I used to be just like you, kid. But now, you can call me that grizzled old veteran that just needs to see you fail. You need to fail at this because to this day, I still believe I did. I've got no WrestleMania main event, no WWE Championship to show for it, and sure, I became the World Heavyweight Champion twice. I won 6 Intercontinental Championships, United States Championships, you name them, I won them. But there's still that niggling part of my brain that says I could achieve so much more. And so many people for so many years believed I could achieve so much more, Logan Paul. Until they didn't. Until I was yesterday's news. Until a bunch of flashy new toys came up from Orlando and took my spots. And now some wannabe YouTube billionaire, businessman, energy drink connoisseur, boxer, you name it, what haven't you failed at? Is trying to take my spot. He stole my opportunity to finally main event WrestleMania. Someone who doesn't even deserve my time of day. So congrats, Logan. Enjoy the show. Because let me tell you this. You're not welcome here on my show. I'll let you stay for the rest of tonight. But if you ever show up again, got Damien here, Ken, Emerson. We'll teach you what it's really like to be a WWE superstar. And Logan, he takes it and he goes, well, I'm down to find out right now if you are, Dolph. And he gets ready for a fight with Ziggler. And Ziggler goes, no. No. You missed the point, kid. I don't want to waste my time with you anymore. I only rest my time with people who actually want to be here and actually want to do this. And people who actually want to step in the ring with Dolph Ziggler. Okay? And that's not you, kid. And then Ziggler just walks to the back. Logan Paul, looking flabbergasted, but he's back here on Raw. He's neck in prime. We then cut to Alexa's office. And Ivy, she's getting, I imagine she's bought she's putting her gear on, like she's got like one boot on or whatever. And then she's like in the midst of getting ready for the Battle Royal later on tonight. She goes, you wait to see me? She goes, yeah, I did, yeah. Shut the door. She's like, lock it. And then Ivy locks the door. And then Alexa goes, sit. Then Ivy goes, I'm not a dog, Alexa. And then Alexa just looks at her smiling and just goes, sit down. Please. And Ivy takes a seat and she goes, what is this all about? She goes, oh no, I just want you around. Want to make sure you're here in my view. And she goes, what? Is this about last week? Look, come on, Alexa, you gotta let that go. Like, I have no idea what happened there. And Alexa goes, sure you didn't. I don't know what you're getting changed for, because, like, you're not in this Battle Royal tonight, by the way. She goes, what? But I want a chance to be in the Elimination Chamber, Alexa. You gonna take that away from me? Alexa goes, well, I don't want you out of my sight all night. I really need you to stay in here with me. I can't let you leave. So, guess you're gonna have to stomach it, because I need you. Your boss needs you to do as she says. We'd hate to go against her orders now, wouldn't we? And Ivy goes, are you fucking kidding me? 77 rated opening match. I guess there's no storyline attached. And Sheamus and Gable have just not really been hitting recently. Sheamus is apparently declining. And, yeah. Anyway, Gable steals it again. Sheamus just cannot beat this man. They went to a time limit draw during Gable's 5-minute challenge thing. And now Gable's beating him first at New Year's Revolution and now here tonight. So, the first person, well, I guess technically second behind Angelo Dawkins, to punch their ticket to that fatal 4-way for the IC title at the upcoming Elimination Chamber special episode of Raw in 2 weeks' time is Chad Gable. He outsmarts Sheamus here tonight and probably gets his footy on the ropes when he rolls him up or whatever to score the win. We then cut back to Alexa's office. And Ivy just sitting there bored. She just sat on a chair just... and she looks at Alexa. She's like, can I get you do you want a coffee or anything? Alexa goes, no, I know what you're doing. You're not allowed to leave, okay? This is where you stay tonight. Okay? I just want to check something. Because last week I let you go. Things happened on my show that I didn't want happening on my show, Ivy. So, you can stay here, and we'll see if those same things happen tonight. We then cut to Kathy, who's backstage with Finn and the Good Brothers. And Finn goes, so back at the Royal Rumble, myself and AJ, we were having a grand old time, you know, running back to the good old days of Japan, when Jeff Jarrett and Corbin ruined our day. Now, of course, me and the Good Brothers here, we may still be on Raw, but AJ, he's over on SmackDown, so he's not here, but allow me to step in. Jeff, it's 2023, nobody wants to see you ass wrestling. Nobody wants to see Corbin wrestling, no matter what year it is. But anyway, I'll humor you, Corbin. At the Elimination Chamber, me and you one-on-one. What do you say? And Kathy's like, well, I guess let's hope Alexa hears the call, because, yeah, Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor at the Elimination Chamber episode of Raw. Sounds fun. We then see Lyra and Joe Gacy. Just Lyra, nobody else. And he's sort of gassing her up in the way that only Joe Gacy can gas somebody up. He goes, tonight is your night. We've seen you slowly spread your literal and figurative wings when you tried to help recruit Nova Nebula to our cause. And tonight is your night. Tonight you're in this battle royal, and you get the chance to add special items to our collection. You see the power of the pendant. This changes people. And if I can somehow absorb its power into us, we'll win everything. Just how does that Saray get the power out of this? And then into frame walks Piper Niven. We renamed her because she got renamed in real life, so whatever. And Bivens and Omar Samvera behind her. He goes, I assume you talking Lyra up for this battle royal later on tonight. Well, we've sort of weirdly become part of your weird clique recently. Because of our dealings with that damn Shanky, thinking he could step to Omos. But Piper, she's in that battle royal tonight too. Do you know who else is going to be in that battle royal? That Billy Kay and Saray. So what we're saying is, enemy of my enemy is my friend. Lyra, you scratch Piper's back, and she'll scratch yours. And then Gacy's there goes, Mr. Bivens, we will take it under advisement, because we could use as many allies in our war against the enemy. We already reached out to a certain Mr. Karrion Kross last week, and he's got his own business to take care of before he can commit to the cause. But alas, no stress. We are forming quite the collective. 77, yep. I got a chemistry warning when I booked this match, so I knew it wasn't going to be like super good. That's why I made it only a 9-minute sprint rather than trying to drag it out. But Ali is the third person joining that Fatal 4-Way. He beat John Morrison 9 minutes and 8 seconds of the 054. 68 for John Morrison, 74 for Mustafa Ali. So yeah, we currently know it will be Angelo Dawkins defending against Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable, with the final member of the match being either Zergus the Mighty or Montez Ford. We'll find out which one later on tonight. But yeah, quite a nice match. And that chamber show, it may as well be a pay-per-view, but it isn't. It's a special episode of Raw. We then cut to Bray backstage, and he says, it's just, you know, those like he did in real life a second week back. He just standing around backstage as a dude with his theme playing in the background. And he goes, last week I went out to that ring, first time in 6 months. My Fireflies were happy to see me, but Drew McIntyre, he wasn't so happy. Drew McIntyre thinks I'm still the man that I was when I left. Nah, man. That Bray Wyatt is dead. The Fiend is dead. I'm just trying to be like you. You know, World Heavyweight Champion. Face of Monday Night Raw. But everyone looks at me like I'm a freak. Like I don't belong, man. And that hurts. I thought I could count on you, Drew, to accept me. I didn't send Susanna or that other guy to attack you at the Royal Rumble. I don't know what their deal is, but I'm willing to help you find out, man. Cause this ain't me anymore, man. That part of me is gone. I don't know why Susanna's on screen. I didn't mean for her to be. Sorry. We then cut backstage. Boogs is again shredding a guitar, ready for tonight, and just Shinsuke is next to him, just warming up. And he goes, "Come on, Shinsuke, be a little bit more excited. You know, tonight we have the opportunity to become the #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now look, I know 2 weeks ago wasn't your night, and last week you had that bit of a downer. But trust me, once we get out there and we win and we electrify like only we can, then that'll all be forgotten and we'll have the true King of Strong style back. Now are you with me?" Shinsuke doesn't say anything. He goes, "I said, are you with me?" And then we hear, and then walk Ludwig and Giovanni Vinci. Ludwig again in his jacket and Vinci in his suit and sunglasses. And Ludwig goes, "We are not with you, you obnoxious, stupid man. You see, after last week, my good old friend Giovanni Vinci, a man who's carved his own path, helped me defeat Randy Orton. Now, while Vinci and I may be carving our own path, we are still, when together, the greatest tag team here on Raw. And tonight, me and him will put our great minds together to defeat you." And judging by the state of the... No, that'll probably be Ludwig saying... Not Ludwig, Vinci saying that. And he goes, "And judging by the mental and physical state of Shinsuke, and just everything about you, we shouldn't have a problem winning tonight." And he gives like a wink to the... Or not a wink, see what sunglasses are, but a point to the camera and a smile. And Ludwig goes, "What is that?" And then they walk out and leave. So yeah, we'll be Boogs and Shinsuke against Imperium later on tonight for the winners. Guess what? It's not going to be next week. It's going to be at the Chamber. We'll fight Path of the Dragon. We then see Charlotte and her court. She goes, "Look, I get it. Like, this battle royal tonight, like, okay, and then the elimination chamber next week, sure. I mean, I'm all for facing somebody who's got to go through the elimination chamber because they're not even going to be at 100% come WrestleMania. So that's all well and good. There's just some other things I really need to go over with Alexa." And she stops outside Alexa's office, and Jeff Jarrett and Corbin are also out there, and he goes, "Sorry, there's a queue. Need to talk to Alexa about, you know, this match Corbin needs to get with that damn Finn Balor." And Charlotte goes, well, who's in there? What's the hold up? Well, we knocked. We got no answer. And then we get the camera from inside the office. Alexa's sort of chilling at her desk, just doing shit on her computer or whatever. The door knocks, and Ivy's just sat there still. And she goes, "Shouldn't we get that?" And she's like, No, it's nothing important. I'm sure they'll leave a note or an email. You know, just carry on doing what you're doing. And Ivy goes, "I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting here, staring at you, just doing stuff on your computer. There's important business going on out there that you need to be getting to. Alexa, you're supposed to be the GM, but yet you're not doing anything because... 68. That's actually a fine rated tag team match. Because 20 women are in the main event, I chose to give the Symphony Fox Stevie Turner tag team, which I have temporarily at least dubbed Virtually Insane. But they're not on the main roster, they're in NXT, so it's fine. But I needed a tag team because everyone else is in the Battle Royal, so they're who steps up against Liv for Battle this week. And yeah, Shida and Liv beat them. This is non-title, this one. Shida pin or submit Stevie with a Full Metal Muffler. 38 for Stevie, 29 for Symphony, 73 for Liv, and a 79 for Hikaru Shida. Then, after the match, Mandy Rose and JC Jane attack Liv and Shida from behind. Because I was supposed to do this on SmackDown, but I forgot to book it, so we're going to do it tonight. Setting up the tag team title match for SmackDown will be Mandy Rose and JC Jane against Liv Morgan and Hikaru Shida. Because Gigi Dolan getting injured fucked everything up. So, but I am now at the destination that I had to be for that show, so it's fine. Heh! Speaking of destinations we have to get at. Kid, you know who I mean. I'm not gonna say the thing, because I don't want to summon him. But you listen to me. Ever since you showed up at the Royal Rumble and crushed my dreams, I knew I had to get you back. And last week laying you out with that nothing personal, it felt good. But it's not enough. So kid, this Elimination Chamber's coming up real fast. How about me and you, one-on-one, at the Elimination Chamber? But next week, we bring the pen, and we sign this and make this thing official. And I'm gonna kick your ass then too. Nothing personal, kid. So we all know who Karrion Kross is talking about, but I can't or even say that phrase because that would summon him, and we don't need him summoned right now. So, yeah. But apparently they're wrestling at the Chamber, and Kross invites him to a contract signing next week. We then cut to Gorilla. Angelo Dawkins is he's there with Montez Ford, and Tez will get to goes, Dawkins, it's time, you know. Just like we always wanted. Me and you were going to end up fighting for that Intercontinental Championship, and trust me, may the best man win. And Dawkins goes, yeah, fam, you know. All this time I've spent putting into work for myself to make myself the Intercontinental Champion. All I ever wanted was to defend it against you. And maybe you can win it. And maybe you can get your turn, and Tez can be the good luck out there, fam. And then the Street Profits music plays, and then Montez Ford enters. He leaves the Gorilla, but the camera sort of lingers on Angelo Dawkins as Tez leaves, as he sort of just stares at the curtain and just contemplates the situation around him. I will take an 82. I thought I scripted this. I did, okay, but apparently it was still too long. And they've both got 60 plus psychology, so I don't fucking know. Anyway, Montez Ford does take the final spot. He pins Zergus with a frog splash in 12:54. 73 for Zergus, 78 for Montez Ford. Yeah, an 82 for the match is not too bad. But we do now know that it will be Angelo Dawkins versus Chad Gable versus Mustafa Ali versus Montez Ford in a fatal 4-way Intercontinental Championship match at the Elimination Chamber event. We have got a stacked card already for that show. Because we've got the Chamber, we've got that IC title 4-way, we've got maybe Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, maybe Karrion Kross versus you know who. We've got Path of the Dragon against either Imperium or Nakamura and Boogs. And yeah, I think that's it so far. Yeah, kind of a stacked card already. We then cut back to outside of Alexa's office, and even more people now. Liv and Shida are out there moaning about something, and he goes, "Well, these Toxic Attraction just came over from SmackDown and attacked us, so like we need to get even with them. We need to get our title match with them coming up soon." And then Jarrett and Corbin are like, "Well, we've been standing here for about an hour. What the hell is taking so goddamn long?" And then Stephanie sort of walks past and just sees. So she's on the phone in the background. She sort of just puts her phone down and just walks past, like looking confused about what the commotion is all about. Before this, then walking away, and we then again cut inside to Alexa's office. Ivy's got like her ear up against the door. She goes, "Alexa, I don't know. That it sounds like there's a lot of shouting going on out there." And Alexa goes, "I said if it's anything important, they'll call or leave an email. Sit your ass down." And then Ivy goes, "Okay, whatever." We then get live from the Nightmare Factory, Cody. And I imagine it's one of those interviews where the announcers are talking to him, and he goes, "I'd love to be there tonight. I'd love to be there and entertain the fans that have paid money to see the American Nightmare. But I'm still human at the end of the day. And my wife last week was attacked by Solo Sikoa. And I need to stay by her side. But trust me, Seth, I'm going to be at SmackDown this Friday night, and I'm going to take it out on your boy in that main event match we got scheduled. And then 2 days later, if I'm not bored of beating his ass by then, I'll continue doing that. And then me and Dustin, we're coming for you. You've been a thorn in my side for far too long, Rollins. And this Sunday, I'll put you down. And then at WrestleMania, it ends. Because you need consequences for your actions. And the greatest consequence I can think of is taking that WWE Championship from you. Not even for me. Not for me. Not for them. Not for the American dream. But for her. We then cut to the anime room when Carland walks in, and he's like, "I finished." And Dio's like, "In a week?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's once you really get into it, it's really good stuff." And Dio goes, "Come with me." And Sensei's like, "Well, where are you going?" And Dio's like, "Stay here. Saray, she's got the Battle Royal. Manny, you can stay with her. Sensei, you can watch over. Me and Carland with a C here have some talking to do." And I imagine Manny takes Carland away into an interrogation room. And he sits Carland in the chair, and then just shines the light in his face. He goes, "Okay, boy. You claimed you watched 28 seasons of anime in a week? Huh? Those are quite professional numbers, if I do say so myself. Numbers even a master weeb like me may struggle with. So, I suspect you're lying. I suspect you're a worm, a snake, a rat, a mole, still working for the enemy. So tell me, Carland, I've got 20 questions here. Answer 80% correct, and I'll let you go. Question number 1. And then it pans out, because I can't be bothered to think of 20 anime-based questions, so we'll just pretend that's going on in the background, while Manny, Sensei, and Saray are sort of just minding their own business. I imagine Manny's just sort of like playing around with that weapon that they got at Christmas that nobody knows who sent it to him. And Sensei goes, What's going on in there? And Saray just shrugs her shoulders. And then Dio comes out. He opens the door, like, all emphatically, and he goes, he's one of us. One of us. One of us. And they all start chanting, one of us. And they officially welcome Carland with a C into the group. Side note, you may have been able to tell on the screen, I have officially changed his ring name to Carland with a C, because I think it's funny. Oh my goodness! Ilja Dragunov might be the best wrestler in the world. He's come to Raw, of course, and his first match on Raw was against Dijak, and in 12 minutes and 45 he beats him with a Torpedo Moscow in a match that gets an 88 rating. 90 for Ilja, 70 for Dijak. My goodness gracious me. Ilja may be the best wrestler in the world. But then after the match, we've got our ringside correspondent, Jimmy Smith, on the case. And he talks to Ilja about being on Raw. Then Ilja goes, I merely coexisted with Gunther all that time to help get my footing here in WWE. Everybody who knows the history between us knows me and him don't see eye to eye. And saying that is putting it lightly after what I saw him do to a man I called my mentor, William Regal. So, Gunther, get your ass out here and accept my challenge. Out he comes. And he goes, Ilja, me and you, we go way back. Back in the day, you had my number. But that was a different Gunther. That was a different Ring General. I'm operating on another level right now. And if me and you were to fight, I'd whip your ass. And Ilja goes, oh, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Huh? In 2 weeks' time at the Raw Elimination Chamber, me and you for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Gunther goes, it's on. And he holds the belt up. So there's yet another big match for the Elimination Chamber special. Gunther will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Ilja Dragunov in what could, and I am only half joking when I say this, be the greatest match in the history of this save. Speaking of the greatest stuff in the history of this save, Path of the Dragon. Xia Li's not here, she's in the Battle Royal, so she's off training somewhere. And Zergus is angry, and he goes, ah! You know, those damn Street Profits. You know, I should be the Intercontinental champion right now if it wasn't for Montez Ford. And now tonight, we were supposed to all be champions. After all the training we did, how can we not all be champions? I've let you guys down. You two rose up from being, you know, thrown together, opening act, to now being the team to beat here in WWE. And I'm just easy to beat. And Humberto sits there, he's like, no, Zergus, you lost 2 matches, it's fine. As long as you don't give up on yourself and you show that spirit inside you, one day you will become Intercontinental champion. But for now, it's time to watch this upcoming match and see who will defend the Tag Team Championships against at Elimination Chamber. Of course, 90. Yeah, Ludwig and Vinci have excellent chemistry. Nice. And yeah, gets a 90. And it is, of course, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs losing to Imperium when Giovanni Vinci pins Rick Boogs with the Imperial Bomb in 14 minutes and 14 seconds. Boogs gets a 60, Nakamura an 89, 79 for Vinci and an 88 for Ludwig. And the story of the match, I imagine, is Shinsuke, he's rocking and rolling, you know. He starts the match, like, depressed. But as the match goes on, he's finding his groove, the crowd's getting behind him, and he's all fired up. He's feeling like the King of Strong style again. And he's going for a Kinshasa. He nails the Kinshasa, but Ludwig breaks it up or whatever. And then Boogs gets tagged in. And Boogs loses. And Shinsuke, you know, 2 weeks ago he was disposed of like a piece of crap when Drew McIntyre kicked him and Drake Edwards in the head and just ended their match after like 20 seconds. But this week, Shinsuke's feeling himself. And he looks at Boogs down, he just shakes his head, he goes, "Oh, what's going on here?" When Minoru Suzuki and the Young Lion walk out onto the stage. Suzuki's there with his arms folded, just shaking his head at Nakamura. And Boogs is going, "Who's that guy, Shin? Huh? Who is that guy? What's he doing to you? He's getting in your head, man. Get him out of your head." And then Boogs turns around and starts shouting at Suzuki when Nakamura goes low on Rick Boogs. And he backs into the corner. He's sort of like emotionless. Like, he's not like going crazy or anything. This just feels like the right thing to do. He backs into the corner and he nails Rick Boogs with that Kinshasa. And then he does the thing where he slides under the bottom rope. And just with a completely straight face, just keeps walking up the ramp. And follows Minoru Suzuki to the back. So, next week, we have nothing. Absolutely nothing has been set for next week. Because, I don't know, it's supposed to be the GM's job and she hasn't said anything set for next week. But we do have this interesting tweet from Rey Mysterio. Here we go. So I imagine this here's the scene. Imagine we like cut to Charlotte in a skybox or something with Jordan and Aaliyah and Skylar. I imagine that was what her gripe with Alexa was about, so maybe that's got fixed or something. And then around ringside we've got chairs with Rhea and Bianca and Julia and Florence and Nova sat on them. And then the 18 women are in the ring, and Indy's the last one to make her entrance. But Connor, you say? That means there's 19 women in this match. But out comes Sasha. She's back. We haven't seen her since, I think, November, week 4, when she got absolutely killed by Rhea Ripley. You can see it shows Rhea Ripley's face as she comes out, like, angry. But Sasha, she's back. She's looking a little different. And she's ready for this battle royal here. I was gonna do this spot by spot, but, I mean, you know who's winning. So I may as well just go over it on this screen. Important things to note in this match would be Piper and Lyra eliminating Billie Kay and Saray. Would be Killer Kelly getting the most eliminations. Would be... I had another one, but I can't remember what it was. Nope, I can't think of it. I've literally just looked at every single name in this match, and nothing is jumping out at me. But then the final four are Sonya, Indy, Killer Kelly, and Sasha. Sasha eliminates Killer Kelly. Indy eliminated by Sonya. The final two are Sonya and Sasha. Julia tries to help Sonya, but then Nova fights her ringside, and Florence fights, and all that. And their 5 Elimination Chamber participants fight, basically. And in the end, Sasha dumps out Sonya Deville to win the Battle Royal. And we now know the full field for the Elimination Chamber will be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Nova Nebula, Florence, Julia, and Sasha Banks, with the winner facing Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. But we then have what I'm going to call an end credit scene. Alexa logging out. She's logging out of her computer for the day. She goes, "Ooh, show's over. Would you look at that, Ivy? Huh? You were in my sight this entire time, and no sign of things I didn't want on my show. So, what do you think happened here, huh? What do you think's the lesson to be learned here, Ivy?" Then Ivy goes, "That if your boss calls you into her office first thing in the show, you say no?" And Alexa goes, "No. Always listen. Okay? Always listen to the people you need to listen to. Now, as your reward of staying in this room with me, I'm going to invite your favorite little luchador back next week. And, hell, I'll let her on the show. But I've got some questions I need to ask her. So she's going to take Alexa's lie detector test. And if she fails, then, oh boy, it's the end for you." And then she opens the door and Stephanie stood there. And Alexa's like, "Oh, hey boss lady, how you doing?" She goes, "I'm doing alright. Alexa, I assume you've had everything under control tonight?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's been great. Nice and easy, just there wasn't much of a mess to clean up at all." And Stephanie goes, "Oh, really? I thought, WrestleMania season you'd have a bunch of people knocking down your door for opportunities." Alexa goes, "No, nothing like that. It's been actually really quiet today." And Stephanie goes, "Oh, that's nice to hear, Alexa. Well, have a good night." And then Stephanie walks off. And she's like, "Isn't she nice?" And Ivy just shakes her head, because she got the implication. 88 rated show. Would have been better if I would have put that tag match on last. But, Sasha's back, so she had to main event. Because this isn't Battle in the Valley. I'm not booking Okada versus Tanahashi, so Sasha can main event this show. Do you know what other show Sasha Banks could main event? I mean, Heat, but she's not booked on it, but that was a segue. Heat kicks off with an appearance from Trish Stratus. And she's just backstage, and she goes, "Well, I'm just here to let everybody know, after what happened last week and that unprovoked, disgusting assault by Solo Sikoa on our head of the women's division, Brandy Rhodes, that while Brandy's at home recovering, I will be the interim GM of Heat / women's division head. And I've got a good show tonight, some tag team action, some singles action, getting you in the spirit. No Way Out this Sunday, got some great women's matches on that card. And yeah, let's get started with the show." 64 rated show, match even. Ruby Riott against Tracy Sharrow. Ruby beats Tracy. You have 10 minutes for a Riott kick. Ruby really needs to start picking up some wins because she's got a thing coming up. So, yeah. 67 for Ruby, 43 for Tracy. We then get this tag team match. And I was just checking some chemistry notes. I thought Naomi and Shantae Washington here, Willow Nightingale, would have been a fun tag team. They have neutral chem, so maybe I'll still do it. But if they had excellent chem, I would have, but they don't. So it's more 50-50. But Double Trouble win, Anne-Marie submits Naomi with the Queenslayer. 45 for Shantae, 70 for Naomi, 64 for Kelsey, and a 62 for Anne-Marie. Speaking of excellent chemistry, I just had Stevie and Symphony still sat on my roster from using them on Raw, so they got another match on Heat. And again, they're against the Witches, Nikki Cross and Iona Webb. And they win. Nikki pins Stevie with the Purge. 67 for Nikki, 38 for Iona, 30 for Symphony, and a 40 for Stevie. Wait, yeah, I did say that right, yeah. I was going to say, I thought I called Stevie. It's because there's a Stevie, a Symphony, and a Nikki, and an I. It's weird. Then our 73 main event, Shotzi versus Deonna. Shotzi wins with a Fright Night in 14 minutes 11 seconds. 74 for Shotzi, and a 57 for Deonna. And that's just a quick episode of Heat as we recover from last week's terrible loss of Brandy Rhodes. And yeah, next week on Raw will be I don't want to call it the Go Home Show 4, because again, it's not a pay-per-view, but the show before the Raw Special Elimination Chamber episode, where we will be doing Elimination Chamber on free TV for the first time ever. And I was debating whether or not I should do that. I thought that kind of seemed a bit silly. But I was like, well, they did Hell in a Cell on TV last year. AEW does fucking War Games on free TV. So I was like, yeah, we'll just do a big special, make the last hour commercial free, do a big chamber. Doesn't really matter. It's fine. But yes. But next time will be a Go Home Show for SmackDown. The Go Home Show for No Way Out. See you then.